Hey, hey, hey! Welcome back to another wonderful, wonderful episode of Merlo's Movie Massacre. It's great to see people already in the chat. Hey, everybody. How are you all doing on this wonderful Thursday evening? Depending on where you are, it's evening. It's evening, unless you're John Evans from Behind the Fiends. He's 3 hours behind me, so it's only 3 p.m. his time. So it's afternoon. But everybody else, it's evening, including myself. It's 6 p.m. where I am. That's the new time, everybody. Don't forget it. Hope this new time isn't throwing everybody off. Regular streams are now always going to be Merlo's Movie Massacre on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And then the new show on Saturdays. Saturdays live stream, which is Merlo's Macabre Matinee. That's the new show I'm doing. Saturdays, I'm going to watch a new film, a first-time watch every week, at least one. If I have time to do two, I'll do two, but probably for the most part, it'll just be one with the amount of time I have on my hands. Let's say hi to everybody in chat. The chat's going quick already. Holy smokes. Christian Spencer says, hey, it's my birthday coming up at the end of this month. Happy birthday, Christian. You'll be turning... I'm going to guess here. I'm good at guessing birthdays. You're fairly young. I'm going to say you're going to turn 28. 28, 29, somewhere in there. Susie Lopez in the chat. The Drayton Sawyer. Happy Cinco de Sawyer Mayo. That's awesome. I guess it is that, isn't it? And look who's back. We haven't seen you so long, Michelle. Michelle Appollonia is in the chat. I'm glad you can make it, Michelle. And just so you know, Michelle, this is my regular... Well, you've heard now. This is now my new time. I'm going to be making it a habit. This show once a week and the new show once a week. First-time watches. You guys can suggest first-time watches for me. I'm going to how I'm going to do that, though, don't worry about doing it in this chat. Do it in the chat of that show after we've talked about whatever film I'm watching. On Saturday's episode, we're talking Banshee Chapter. So that'll be what we chat about. I'm gonna watch. Still haven't seen it. I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. Yes, I'm gonna take some time tomorrow to watch it. I've got it already queued up on Tubi on my phone. Hopefully there's not too many ads. Hopefully the quality is decent. I've noticed that with Tubi, it's not the best. But good to see you, Michelle. It's been a bit. It's been a bit. It has been a bit. I've heard you've been busy, though. Anybody else new in the chat? We got Nona Chan in the chat. Hey, Nona, how you doing? Glad you can make it tonight. And this is I think you're new, Young Womp 180, Young Womp 187. Sorry for the mispronunciation. It's come out tomorrow. What's come out tomorrow? What's come out tomorrow? I don't know. What has come out this week is the new teaser for the Sawyer Massacre is officially out. What do you guys think? Have you guys all seen it? It's been quite a week. That's all I can say. This has been a roller coaster ride of a week, and in a good way. Christian's going to be 23. Oh, okay. I was a little off. Sorry, buddy. I'm not the best at guessing ages. It's the beard. The beard makes you look older. The beard makes you look a little bit older. That movie that's coming out. What? What movie? I don't know what you're talking about. You gotta tell me. I have no clue. It looks great. Love to see it. Thank you guys. It's amazing. Noti Chan says. Really excited to see the movie. That's the support has been fantastic. You know, you never know what to expect. I never know what to expect when I'm putting out a new teaser for this film. This is the third one, the third trailer teaser slash trailer, whatever you want to call it, that I've done for this. And as I'm at this point where I'm feeling like I'm getting redundant with it. Am I getting redundant? I thought, I gotta find ways to make it different. And I thought when I did my first cut of it, I thought I'm getting redundant. I'm just gonna get feedback from Charlie, who is our DP and is also our editor. He's editing the whole. He's in the process of post-production editing right now. He's just edit and color is his job. And I shared it with both Charlie and Kyle. Kyle Hames, who was our grip on set and is our post-production sound designer. And they got sent the teaser trailer, and they're like, wow, that's great. So, there you go. See what you guys are saying in the chat. Fear the beard. Yeah, hey, makes you look a little older. So, but you're old enough, though, that you can get in the bar, so you don't have to really worry too much. But you can shave the beard if you want. I don't know. I shaved my beard. My beard always makes me look older. I am older, but, I shave the beard, and I kind of look younger every time. I'm sure I'm going to get to that point where I can't pull off youth very much anymore. We'll see. We'll just keep trying. Anyways, where can I watch the Sawyer Massacre at? Huh? Well, it's still in, like I was just talking, it's in post-production. The teaser is on, the official teaser is on YouTube. Somebody can share the link in the chat if they want. Maybe I can, actually. I might be able to do that. Let me just see. Hold on a sec. I will share it because I want you guys to see it. Anybody who hasn't seen our teaser should. You should, because it's really cool. It was all shot in Texas. Just copying here. I think this should work. It should. It says it should work. There it is. There it is. When does the whole movie come out? The whole movie comes out in October. We haven't set an official release date yet. We're talking. We're talking. I'll probably figure that out, I don't know, within the next week or two. We'll set an official release date, and there will be an official trailer, like a full-length trailer before that. And for those of you wondering if you're going to see Leatherface in the full-length trailer, that's not going to happen. You'll get teases of him, like you do in the teaser, but whether you're going to see him in full mask and everything, no, we're holding it back. You have to see them. You have to watch the movie to see Leatherface in full masks. I say masks because he wears a lot of them. There you go. So just be ready for that. Be ready for it. Everything's coming along very, very well, though. Our Indiegogo campaign has had a great start. We've already hit, like last time I was live, on last Saturday, we were just a day away from launching our campaign, and here we are. Next live I do. We've already hit two of our funding goals, not our production goals, our funding goals for post-production. So we're already on to goal number 3. So we are just killing it right now. We're absolutely killing it. I should welcome once again our brand new sponsor. Let me just put their logo up here so you guys can check this out. That is our brand new sponsor, Twitch Productions. We just they joined us yesterday. Brand new executive producers, Adam and Addison Ginsberg. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our team. We're so excited to be working with you on this, and everybody else that has joined us, even this late in the game in post-production. So there you go. Let's see you guys. It looks scary too. Yeah, thank you, Drayton. Who's the people making the movie? I was. We had a lot of people making the movie. Nobody in the chat though. But yeah, it's my movie. Unless you're talking about a different movie. Christian Spencer, Steve, my uncle passed away today. Oh, and I've been taking a breather now. Oh yeah, oh man, that's sorry to hear that, man. Very, very sorry to hear that. Condolences, my condolences. Sorry to hear that. I'm glad you still made it in the chat, and that's very nice of you, man. And hopefully your family is all doing well. Hopefully your family's all doing well. Okay. Let's get on with the show. I'm starting to yap a little bit too much. I know that. I still have to give my plugs. And of course, since we've got her in the chat tonight, if she's still here, who knows? The wonderful Michelle Appollonia has. I should almost be plugging your podcast now. I should get the links to that in the description too. But she also does these awesome horror themed dolls. Her company's called Breathless Beauties. Very, very cool stuff. Free shipping in the U.S. And she's based out of, I believe, Syracuse, New York. I always forget, but that's probably it. Yeah. Very, very cool stuff she does. And also Michelle Appollonia. But we also have Michelle Blasky of Ms. 44 and her interesting artwork. Check this stuff out. Very, very cool. The cow with the shotgun. I almost want to just buy that myself. Pretty cool stuff. And there's Leatherface for you. And Michelle is also doing, has her own Indiegogo campaign for the third channel. Definitely go and check that out. If you're a fan of Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, you're going to want to support this. It's a very, very, very cool project. And she's been working very, very hard to make this thing a reality. She's filming it in the exact locations that the original was filmed. So, I mean, I think that's dedication in itself right there, and I am just excited to see what she does with it. I am an associate producer on it, proud to be a producer on it, so I just can't wait to see where she goes with it. I've read the script, so I know where she's going. I'm really excited to see how she executes it. So there you go. Good stuff, Christian. Good stuff. Rough, but I've lost my share of uncles. In fact, do I have any uncles left? No, I do. But yeah, man, man, we've all lost people. It's tough. It's tough. I lost my brother back in 2017. That was rough. That was so rough. It was so rough because, you had to watch the whole family just, it hit us all really hard. So I've been there, man. I've been there. I know it's going to be rough, but things will get better. They always do get better. So there you go. Anyways, guys, hope you guys are doing well. I don't think I've actually, done an official ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise yet. I was going through my old videos to see if I had done a ranking of the films before. I've ranked the Leatherface portrayals. I've ranked the Leatherface masks. I couldn't find an actual ranking video that I've done. So I don't know if I've actually done it now. So this might be, I may have been waiting for the new film to come out. There's a good chance that was the situation. Hey, and there's our buddy Joe from Fangoria Faithful. Thank you for joining there, Joe. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Oh, damn. What'd I walk into? What? Oh, you didn't walk into anything too bad. I know we're talking about rough stuff there. The rough stuff, we're going to stop talking about the rough stuff and, we're going to move on. We're moving on. Christian's a strong guy. He's a tough guy. And, thanks for sharing that, though, Christian. Yes. Okay. So, yeah, this will be my first rank. It was actually kind of tough to rank. Hey, there's our buddy John. Late here. Hey, not late enough. Not late enough. We haven't started the official ranking yet. I'm very, very interested to see how you guys would rank the franchise. It was actually kind of tough. There's a bunch of them, like, I don't know which one I like more between this one and this one, and I don't know. It's if you guys know me, you guys know me, it almost seems you guys are gonna know what's in last place and what's in first place, pretty much. I'm sure you guys pretty much know. But at the end of the day, there's only one film I really like. At the end of the day, there's just one. Leatherface somehow survived. How many gunshot hits did he take in that new one? New movie was entertaining, but not my favorite. Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah, we'll see where that one ranks. Does anybody? I want before I start. Does anyone in the chat rank the new film at the absolute bottom? Does anybody in the chat actually rank the brand new film at the absolute bottom? Or does hey, let's contrast that with anybody rank it at the absolute top? It did seem like there was a lot of mixed people on it. Like I'm mixed on certain things. I mean, happy they did certain things a certain way, and then very disappointed they did other things other ways. So, but yeah, I can tell you it doesn't rank at the bottom for me. Not at the bottom, but it's not that high either. It's not looking like but at least none of you guys have said that you rank it at the bottom. If you do, let me know. If not, then I guess we're all kind of in the middle somewhere with it. And or the worst TCM movie. I like some things in it, or the worst TCM. What? I don't know what you mean by that. Yeah, do you think? Yeah, maybe you didn't understand my question. Do you think it's the worst TCM movie, or the best TCM movie? I'll be surprised if anybody thinks it's the best, but you never know. You just never know. Not my top fave though. Brock Lesnar, that's a new person. Just saw your teaser trailer. Got some positives and negatives. Oh, that's good. Well, hey, it's good to hear both sides of the coin. That's great. It was better than TCM 3D. Well, I ain't saying much, but I don't like it because I don't want to see it. I don't like it because I don't want to see it. That's a good enough excuse right there. Okay. Nobody has it at the top and nobody has it at the bottom though. That's basically what I'm wondering. Still say 3D was the worst. There you go. May as well get to the ranking then. I'll get to ranking. I don't think it'll be a big surprise. I don't think so. Yeah. 3D is the worst. Yeah, I agree. 3D is the worst. Don't like this movie. I don't know what to. I mean, part of me wants to find it entertaining because it feels like there should be entertaining parts in it. Oh, Brock Lesnar, where is Drayton, Sawyer, and Grandpa in the You know what? They're in the movie, and it's a teaser, so I had to kind of be careful how much I'm showing, and they will be in the full length trailer though. You know, it was a creative choice to not put Grandpa in the teaser. Although Grandpa was in the Indiegogo teaser, Drayton wasn't. But both those characters are in the film. They'll probably both be in the full trailer to some degree. But they're in the movie. And, you know, that's all I can say. A teaser, you got to be careful how much you show in a teaser. And not there's so many elements to this, to our film. It's really hard to get everything in a teaser. So, just so you know. Okay, anyways. Yeah. Any other criticisms you have on the teaser? That's cool though. That's a fair point. You know, some people are going to want to see Grandpa in it. But part of me wanted to put Grandpa in it. But definitely count on Grandpa being in the full-length trailer. Whether Drayton will be in it, I think so, to some degree. Again, I haven't cut it yet. I haven't cut the full-length trailer. I've just been kind of thinking about it on how, you know. But, you know, we do have an actor that portrayed Drayton, a younger version of Drayton, 8 years before. So, you know, you got to kind of get creative what could have Drayton been like 8 years earlier. I don't want to share that yet. I don't know if I want to share that before the movie. So I might be very subtle with Drayton. Okay, so where do we start with three? I did a whole video, a whole episode of this live stream talking about why I hated this movie so much. And, I could see why some people could find some entertainment value in the movie. I can see why. I just particularly don't. I found nothing entertaining about it. It was just really bad. And it felt like they were trying to make a good movie that just they couldn't make a good movie with because everything they had was so bad. It was just everything that was on the plate was so bad. And doesn't matter how much you try, when you have a plate full of shit, you can't turn that shit into gold. Hey everyone, there's Carlos from the Lazy Reviewer. Thank you for joining us, man. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I mean, and again, I'll say this again. A lot of people have problems with the timeline. It's a problem, but there are worse problems with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3D. Oh, sorry, just Texas Chainsaw 3D than the timeline. The writing in general is just okay. I'm glad they were in the film. Was worried. Those were my only negatives. Okay, well that's nitpicks in my. Oh, that's good to know that that's the only negative nitpicks you had. That makes me feel better, I guess, because I mean we actually haven't had any nitpicks at this point. So if that's the biggest nitpicks I'm gonna get, then I guess it's gonna be good. Yeah, Grandpa's in the film. The hitchhiker's in the film. We didn't put him in the trailer as in the teaser as well. Although I will say, I don't know if this is a spoiler or not. I don't want to spoil anything. I'm like, I want to say things, but I think about it and it's like I probably shouldn't. It's not a massive spoiler, but let's just say the hitchhiker's, or Nubbins, or whatever you want to call him, it's not a massive role in our film. It's not a huge role in our film. The biggest family role, other than Leatherface, probably would go to Grandpa. I'll say that. Probably. We'll say that. Will Leatherface Pretty Woman mask be in there? No, I'll tell you that. That is not even really a spoiler because I've made it. I've been saying that all of our masks are different. All of our masks are different from the original. We custom made all of our masks. But I will say this, like that whole theme with him wearing the Pretty Woman mask and the different masks he wore throughout the film, I think our film might be the first one where he wears different masks for different reasons, to become different personalities. I think that is something I tried to do in a subtle way, though. It might not always come off as well as you think it would, but it's there. There are reasons why he wears every mask in the film, to take on different personalities. So I'll say that. How long will the movie be? Boy, I'm getting a lot of questions about my film. Thank you, though. I appreciate it. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing. My guess has been around 80 minutes. That has been my guess. You like some multiple masks? Yes. There's still one for sale. Screen used, that is. Still one screen used mask for sale on the Indiegogo campaign. It costs a pretty penny. These were not cheap to make. I'll say that. They are silicone. Silicone is frickin' expensive. They had to be life cast. Life casting is expensive. So yes, they do cost a pretty penny. But we've sold 3 out of 4. So there's one more. If anybody wants to snag it, it's on the Indiegogo campaign. Go get it. If not, I'm keeping it. And I have no problem keeping that mask. I have no problem. Yes. I will keep one of the masks if nobody wants it. Yeah, silicone is expensive. It is. Show. Nice. It already sounds better than the show. And I've heard that from a few people, and again, we'll get to that one in a bit. We're still on Texas Chainsaw 3D. So what else can we really say about Texas Chainsaw 3D? Again, it's at the bottom of my list. Not the timeline is a bad thing, but it's a combination of the story, the acting, the terrible CGI gore. The CGI gore is, and I'm usually not overly picky about that kind of thing, but in this case, it stuck out like a sore thumb to me. And some of the ridiculousness of everything that was going on. I don't know, the dialogue. There's just so much bad. The plot points, there's so many bad, stupid things that happen. And I hate it when stupid, oh God, this again. I can't do anything about it, guys. We got this naked HD XYZ jerk off advent wet girls here. Oh my God. I don't know how to stop this. YouTube, do your thing. We didn't see this for the last couple of 2 or 3 live streams, and now they're back again. The spam is back. Yes, spam again. Hey. Whatever. Whatever. It's all I can say. Just have fun with it, guys. I don't know how we get this. I don't know where it comes from. I kind of miss the trolls I used to get. Although the trolls were kind of lame. The trolls were kind of... can you put me in the movie? No, because the movie's shot, and we're not shooting another frame. Movie is shot. We did have perks to be in the film. Unfortunately, sorry, you missed your chance. You did. They all got taken, and yeah, we filmed the movie, and I'm not going back to Texas for anything other than the premiere on August 26th. Tickets available on the Indiegogo page. I know I'm plugging a lot. Do your thing, cuz 3D. Oh, I know, that was awful. I'm not a troll. I don't believe you're a troll. I would know if you're a troll. You would say something stupid like, your film will be shot on a flip phone or something. That was one of the like, hey, whatever, man. Some good stuff can be shot on a flip phone, just so you know. I wouldn't do it, but I'm sure, if a DP knows what the hell he's doing, it's possible. So, some of those trolls, with the things they used to say, it's weird. Yeah, the CGI blood when, Jared, when the guy's on the meat hook and he cuts him in half, that looks so bad. That was bad. So, I don't know. And I wasn't buying a lot of the performances from the actors. Alexander Daddario, I don't know. Her screams were and she's not the worst one. Trey Songz, Jesus. And the other girl, they're terrible. Terrible. They were terrible. It was bad. I was not impressed with the acting. I wanted to, and I didn't know a lot of those actors. There's a couple actors in it that were more seasoned that you recognize and whatnot, but I wanted to like the actors, and then it's like, yeah, sure, you're delivering bad dialogue, but when you're delivering bad dialogue, it's hard to act as if it's good dialogue. It's hard to deliver it and make it sound like it's good. So. Anyways, guys, I don't know. Comment what you think of Texas Chainsaw 3D. I know that it does have a fan base. It does. And I hate to shit on the movie, but man, it really feels like the studio did not have a clue. They had no clue. Millennium Films never ever touch another Chainsaw Massacre film, because My second worst film was also made by Millennium Films, and that was Leatherface from 2017. That's my second from bottom. And I've seen a lot of people put this one at their bottom before, too. Look, this one just does not resemble a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film in any regard. I would say that the acting is better in this movie than Texas Chainsaw 3D. But there is some, again, bad dialogue. The story of, you know, it's not a good film overall. And it's not a it doesn't resemble a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. To me, it doesn't. This felt like the guy that wrote it. His name is like Seth. I think it's Sherwood. Yeah, I think it's Sherwood. Seth Sherwood. Man, he took the template from The Godfather and just switched Michael Corleone to Leatherface, and it was that sort of story. It was the same story, but condensed into an hour and a half. The Godfather was 3 hours and nearly 3 hours, and this was an hour and a half, and the progression of Michael Corleone going from being a good person to a bad person felt very natural. Everything, it took little things throughout the story to gear him into this person that he was, whereas Leatherface, who was not Leatherface, let's just clear the air on this here. The elephant in the room is that was not Leatherface. I don't care what you try to convince me. I could never believe that scrawny kid was Leatherface. It was the worst Leatherface in the series, for sure. And that's one thing I can give a positive to Texas Chainsaw 3D. I would personally say that Dan Yeager was maybe the best Leatherface in the series after, of course, Gunnar Hansen. In my opinion, of course. I mean, but, if that's your only redeeming quality, and it was the actor's portrayal as Leatherface. It wasn't the way he looked. I thought the mask did look stupid in 3D, so I don't know. But that was not Leatherface. And the movie's called Leatherface. And so, it's tough to talk about these without getting emotional. Now, oh God. Drayton Sawyer has a point here. I want to talk about this one part of Leatherface. I want to talk about this. Didn't 3 people hide in a dead cow? I forget. Yes, 3 people did. Leatherface, the red herring Leatherface, it wasn't actually Leatherface, and the girl that was with them, and as kind of a prisoner, but now the real captives are dead, and they're just on the run from the cops. And so she gets in this dead cow with these 2 guys to hide from the cops. And then the cops are gone, whatever. They get out, and like 5 minutes later, she sees a cop car, and she's like running for them. Help me, help me. I just remember that. I'm like, why the fuck did you hide in a dead cow if you were just trying to get to the cops anyway? I didn't, that kind of stuff bugs me, man. That's a plot hole. It's a plot hole. It doesn't make any sense. A real person. And I remember me wanting to really like this character. The actress that was playing the character was actually pretty good. I actually thought she was I was getting behind some of the acting in that movie. I will say that. But the stuff, the choices they made. I don't know if it's just the writer or the studio changing stuff in the script, but it just, that didn't make sense to me. Yeah, didn't make sense. I don't know. Didn't like the skinny kid. Is like, yeah, I should have been the big kid. Yeah, I mean, of course it's too obvious though that to be the big kid. So why would you? I get it, but to make it the one character that's really the exact opposite from Leatherface. Honestly, I thought that made it a little bit predictable that he was going to turn out to be Leatherface. Of course, they're going to make the most far-fetched person Leatherface. Who's got no real homicidal tendencies or it just. And here's another thing, they're going for a twist, and I never felt like Texas Chainsaw Massacre's films need twists; they need reveals. Our film has a reveal. There's no twist in our film. It has an interesting reveal. And it's slowly, it's kind of like, ooh, what's going on here? We don't really know. And then you get another piece of the puzzle. It's like that. It's like that. The I don't know. I don't know. That's just my thought. I don't want to get into it too much, but because we'll be here all night chatting about it. When I do these rankings and I start talking about each film, I end up talking about them for a little while. But man, just certain element. That movie just doesn't reek of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It doesn't feel like Texas because it wasn't Texas, and yeah. I don't know. I really wanted to like it, but I didn't. I want to like all these movies. I want to like the new one. I really do. I'm just starting to think that I don't think any Hollywood company should do it. I don't know. Maybe I'd like them to prove me wrong though. Prove me wrong, Hollywood. Hopefully now with all not just my fan film, but like we talked about last week, there's more Texas Chainsaw Massacre fan films coming out. Hopefully with, how these fan films do and are received, maybe Hollywood's going to see that, hey, maybe we need to do something a little different. This fan base doesn't enjoy that. I don't know. But the fact is, they released that new one on Netflix, and I don't know. I didn't look at the numbers and how well it did on Netflix, but I have no idea. So I mean, but if it was successful on Netflix, then the studio that has the rights to make it is going to be like, oh, we were stupid to sell it on Netflix. We should have released it in the theater. Let's make another one, even though we didn't really make a profit. Because I doubt they made a profit selling it to Netflix. I doubt they did. I bet Netflix made a profit. I really did. I bet they did. But ultimately, I think it probably was the right idea, the right call for them to sell it to Netflix, because I don't think it would have done well in theaters. It might have. I don't know. I don't think it would have done it well. I mean, I wonder who cut the trailers. Was it the studio? Was it Legendary? Or was it Netflix? Whoever cut the trailers may have bought them some extra, because the trailers weren't bad. They weren't like awesome or nothing, but they weren't bad. It could make you want to see the movie, make you think that, okay, this could be a good movie. The leak's still happening. That was probably bad news. That was probably the nail in the coffin for that one. We'll get to that one in a bit here. Hey, Morgan Wellburn is in the chat. How are you doing? Morgan? Thank you for all you've been promoting the campaign pretty good, actually. I've seen your name pop up more and more, so that's really awesome. Thank you so much. And there's Jordan O'Neill, our lead actor who played Jimmy in the Sawyer Massacre. It's usually an outside company trailer house that cuts the trailer. Yeah, but who hired them? Who hired them? Yeah, it is usually like an outside source, from what I've heard. Thank you all for joining the chat, though. There you go. All right, I should move on. I don't know. What else? I mean, does anybody have anything positive to say about Leatherface 2017? Like I said, I think my only real positives are probably some of the acting is pretty decent. And unfortunately, I think a lot of those actors that were in the movie, I haven't seen them in anything else now because that movie probably ended their careers. It was just too bad, because I bet there's some. I would like to see what some of those actors can do, and you're in one bad flick. That could be the end of your career. It's not your fault. It's the movie's fault. And maybe your agent's fault for putting you in that movie, The Sheriff was good. Yeah, that was Stephen Dorff. Is it Steven Dorff or Stephen Dorff? I can never remember. He's great. He's great. Again, some of the dialogue but he did pretty good delivering bad dialogue. There was some bad dialogue in that movie, and he had to deliver some poor dialogue, and he actually did pretty good for the most part. So that's how you know a good actor. If you can deliver bad dialogue well, then you're top notch. Not like in Texas Chainsaw 3D, where some of that dialogue was really bad dialogue, yes, but there was nothing that the actors could do. I don't know. Anyways, rambling on a little much about that movie, so let's move on. What's next on my list? Yeah, this is probably not a big surprise. This is where it starts getting tough for me to rank, though. And that's Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Yeah, it's. Whoops, sorry, my camera just got moved. I'm probably gonna have to adjust that. I accidentally bumped it. Of course, you guys can't see now because I've got it on this. Yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: Next Generation. A lot of people still have this at the bottom. I find some redeeming qualities in this. It's not very entertaining to watch. It's not one that I really come back to give rewatches. I maybe seen it 2 or 3 times at the most. But Matthew McConaughey is actually pretty good in it. He plays kind of a memorable character in this movie. So yeah, I gotta totally adjust that. My framing is bad now. That should be. I'm a little bit short. Hopefully I'll just move back a tad. Whatever. Not terrible, but could be better. Yeah, I mean, overall it's a pretty bad movie, but again, it has some little redeeming qualities to it. Leatherface is terrible in this movie, though, too. It's another movie where Leatherface is terrible. There's not a single chainsaw kill in the movie. Leatherface only has 1 kill, as I recall, and it wasn't with a chainsaw. Feels weird to call a movie Texas Chainsaw Massacre when you don't kill anybody with a chainsaw. There's a chainsaw in it, but yeah. Not a good movie. None of these are really good movies. I don't have a lot of positives to say about any of them, really. I might need to go back and rewatch some of these again. And I bet I wouldn't be surprised if my rankings changed a little bit here and there. But ultimately, as good as Matthew McConaughey was in this film, it's still a bad movie. It's still a pretty bad movie. But Matthew McConaughey will probably go and I did rank. That was another thing I ranked a while back, is the Sawyer family members, and I ranked his up there pretty high, as I recall. Hey, Aaron Johnson is in the chat as well. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? How are you doing? I hope I'm not missing. Oh, I missed somebody else. Roger Clemens is the pitcher. The pitcher, Roger Clemens. Arlie Ermy will always be my favorite sheriff. Ah, there you go. There you go. Hopefully, I'm not missing anything. Matthew McConaughey was awesome in it. About it, yeah, that's really about it. I don't know. There's nothing else in it though that's like terribly, terribly bad. I mean, it's not a well-written movie, but it's not a terribly written movie. I think this was a movie that probably could have been salvaged if Leatherface was a little bit better, if some of the other acting was a little bit better. The acting isn't awful, but I know Renee Zellweger didn't like being in it, and didn't want it released and all that kind of stuff because her career was just kind of getting better, and so I mean, Sadly, I'm not the picture. I kind of figure, well, you never know. You never know. You never know. So gotta ask. So I mean, I guess that's why I have it about here. Yeah, that's about all I can say. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. It's got a not so great story. It's not the greatest writing, that's for sure. They're not giving us anything new, really. You know, it's just kind of, it almost feels like it almost feels like a reimagining of the original. It does almost feel like that. A lot of these kind of feel like reimagining of the original. Whether you want to call them remakes or not, I don't know. That's up to you. The Blu-ray has the extended cut too. Oh, okay. TV from Canada is extended. Oh, okay. I have to check that out. Well, I'm not much of a video collector. Not really. Not really. I am an online. It's digital. Just give me digital. Mostly because I just don't have room in my tiny place for all this stuff. I don't. We need a bigger place. Our family's growing, and I don't know. So next on the list, well, you wondered where it's going to show up. There it is, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's what it's called. You know, falling in line with. They really, this movie really copied the blueprint of Halloween 2018 by just by calling it Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I don't know. When this poster was released, I wasn't overly impressed. It's kind of a cool looking image, but it just doesn't. A lot of these posters don't really scream Texas Chainsaw Massacre to me, though. So maybe that's a small criticism. I don't know. Yeah, I didn't overly like it. There were certain things I did like about it, but ultimately, I wish I could have liked it more. We'll say that. What did I like about it? I liked the kills. There was a lot of cool chainsaw kills. Hey, this was, finally a lot of chainsaw kills. A Texas Chainsaw Massacre film that has lots of chainsaw kills. I didn't mind the look of Leatherface too much. They did kind of go back to the old school look. They had the butcher's apron. I'm not a big fan of the mask, but from certain angles and in certain lighting, it does look kind of gruesome. It looks kind of creepy in certain lighting and angles. But there's other ones where I'm like, yeah, it looks kind of stupid here. It's one of those things. I'm sure they really try to make it look scary, but I don't know. Yeah. Other bad things, there was obviously the anti-gun stuff was a little bit tough to. I think they just didn't execute their. I think I understand what they're trying to do with it, but and I get it, but I think it was poorly executed. Looking back at it, some of the acting was not that great. Some of it was okay. Some of the acting was actually not bad, but some of it not that great. Some of it could be worse. And again, some of the acting could seem even worse than it actually is because of, once again, bad dialogue, really bad dialogue. Another thing I really don't like about this movie, even though I know both this one and Leatherface were not shot in Texas and they were shot in Bulgaria, I think this one stands out even more so than Leatherface 2017 being shot in not being shot in Texas. This was really blatantly not Texas, and it all kind of really comes down to the sort of main location that they're filming most of this movie, looking like a a Hollywood set, that you would go to Universal Studios and walk through the Hollywood, the set. That was a very obvious set. It looked like something you would have seen in the 1950s Western movies or something like that. It didn't have that look of a real town. It didn't look like a real town. You couldn't tell me that was Harlow was this real town in Texas. I couldn't buy that. No. It looked pretty bad. It was a pretty big eyesore. Sure, that stuff worked back in the 1950s, maybe even the 1960s. Beyond that, those sets, you can't pull that off now. Like, I was like, really? And this movie had something like a $20 million budget behind it? Really? I don't know if that's the exact budget. It may have only been $10 million. It was in the millions, though, people. It was in the millions, and that's what we got, They had to shoot in Bulgaria because of that, It was probably free. They shoot in Bulgaria because this stuff is free, and the labor is like cheap. Why do then where is this $20 million going? Where's the money going? The executives. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make accusations, but man, sometimes I wonder if there's some skimming off the top going on. There probably isn't, but there might be. I don't know. It does feel like where did the $20 million go? I hope at least to the actors. I hope at least the actors got paid decently. I hope so. I mean, they're all pretty no names, and for the most part, this was Alice Krige was the biggest name that I knew of in that movie. Was there anybody else in there? Oh, hey, J-Man. Jason Knight is in the chat. Trying to remember if there's anybody else in. Alice Krige was the biggest name I can remember. But I feel like there may have been somebody else. Well, they had John Larroquette's narration at the beginning of it, too. And John Larroquette's not going to do it for free. He's not going to do it for a couple of joints anymore like he did in the original. He's getting paid. I'll tell you that much. John Larroquette's getting paid. It wasn't, and he did it. It was kind of cool that they used it. It was an actual news report rather than a narration, and so it works out. His opening narration always kind of felt a bit news report-ish. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, man, not a lot of good things to say about it for me personally. The kills and stuff, very cool. Characters were bleh. I couldn't wait to see them all. The whole bringing back Sally, bleh, it just felt useless. I mean, it felt kind of shoehorned in. Felt like they didn't need to bring Sally in this movie at all. They didn't need to. I feel like she was just kind of shoehorned in because it worked with Halloween. Mark Burnham was pretty good. Yeah, he was an okay Leatherface. I don't know. He was okay. I don't know where I'd rank him now. I'll have to think about that. Do a re-ranking of my Leatherface portrayals. Yeah, it was a waste of her playing Sally. Yeah, it was the whole movie. I don't know. But, at the same time, I had some enjoyment with the movie. So, I mean, that's kind of why it's up here. It was kind of, you turn your brain off for, it wasn't that long. I think it was about 80 minutes. Kind of like what I'm predicting our film to be. About 80 minutes. I think it was about 80 minutes. And you just turn your brain off for 80 minutes and watch a movie. And if you can do that, you might find some enjoyment out of it. But I mean, I definitely can't look at it and say it was great. Definitely not. But, Sally's role was pointless. The movie would have been the same same outcome without her. That's the thing. She was shoehorned in. I bet the original version of the script didn't have Sally. That's what it feels like. The original version of the script didn't have Sally in it. And the studio said, well, this is working for Halloween movies now, so we got to find a way to put Sally in this movie. The studio did it, guys. The studio did it. Who knows what the original script really looked like? I don't know. Could have been good. You actually never know if any, like some of these movies that seem like they're terribly written, and they are, but maybe the original draft was actually something good. You know, even Texas Chainsaw 3D, like I could see the original draft being good. I mean, I've heard from people. I have even the writer on Facebook, Adam Marcus. And I have a lot of friends that are friends with Adam Marcus, and they said, hey, his original draft was way different. The studio made him do so many things. So, I mean, before we're always quick to blame the writer of these movies, it probably was the studio that made the changes. 99% of the time, it's the studio looking at your script and saying it doesn't have this and it doesn't have, they have things, they have a checklist. So we have to change things to the checklist, like I think somebody told me that Adam Marcus's original script for Texas Chainsaw 3D was actually supposed to take place in the 90s, which I think would have been cool. I think you could do something there. It would have made sense. It would have actually made sense. The timeline would have made sense. But what does Hollywood have to do? Well, young horror fans aren't going to relate to something set in the 90s, It has to be relatable to today. I get that. But at the same time, it didn't make sense. And it was a steaming pile of crap. I don't know. I don't know what to say, guys. I just and when we do set these time periods, like I saw the Fear Street movies. Started with I think it was Fear Street 94, I think. And I'm watching this movie, and like the only thing that feels 90s is the music that they keep putting on, in every scene. Every 2 minutes, it's a 90s tune. Hey, this is to remind you that this movie takes place in 1994. The music, and I'm watching this movie, and like that song came out in 95. I know because if you're gonna set it at 94, you shouldn't have music that was released in 95 or 96. I think there may have been even a 96 in there, and I don't know. Don't do that, guys. Come on. It's such a cop-out. You can't I don't know. You can't convince me it's the 90s just by playing 90s music. Get the look down right. Actually spend some time getting the look down. Getting the lingo. The 90s wasn't that long ago. It's not that hard to go back and look at some interviews from the 90s, and it's not that hard. It's not that hard. I don't know. The work wasn't put in there. It's like, oh, well, just put some music from the 90s. I've seen that with every sort of period piece from a popular time, whether it be 80s or 90s, whatever. It's like, we'll put music from that time period in, and that's it. And we'll play a 90s song every 2 minutes so that they just definitely know this is the 90s. Come on, Hollywood. Gotta do better than that. Anyways, moving along here, guys. We're already an hour into the stream. I'm only not even halfway through my list, I think. About halfway. Close enough. So let's talk about my next one on the list is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. Yeah, I mean, this was another one. I remember watching this in theater when it came out in 2006, and I thought to myself, there are some good things about it, but the execution. This was a movie all about the poor execution, and I think this was ultimately, it was poorly directed. I don't remember who directed this one. Whereas, I mean, the one thing I can definitely say about the remake is that it was well directed. This one felt like they were really trying to go over top with gore. That's not really. It lacked subtlety. Is the easiest way to put it. It lacked subtlety. Have to go now. Good night. Thank you for tuning in, Nona. Thank you so much for tuning in. It lacked subtlety. That's the biggest thing I can say about the beginning. There's some interesting things about it. Kind of like the time period it takes place in 1969. That whole thing of about Vietnam and burning the draft. I think that's great stuff. It worked, but other things really worked very, very poor. It was not very well done. I wanted to like this more. I think they had an opportunity to do something good here, and I don't know. They just I don't know. They took it a direction that was just too far one way. It made it less scary. Like it's okay to imply these things, but to just really kind of throw them in your face, I don't know. To me that made it less scary. The character of the sheriff, who I loved who was great in the remake, came off more comedic in this one, and I think that made him less scary. I think great portrayal again by Arlie Ermy. He did a fantastic job, but the character just seemed more cartoony in this one than he did it was just the way he was written. I heard Arlie Ermy really had his head bashed in. Oh, I can believe it. I can believe it at the end there where, and again, though, and, they do those things to show, how he lost his teeth. Well, okay, I get that. That's fine. Didn't need it. It's not a big thing in the movie that that we saw in the remake that made, I wonder how he lost his teeth. So we have to show him, same with the guy with no legs in the remake. We have to see how he lost his legs. I thought that was just so over the top. Too over the top. So much was over the top. The cannibalism, I was happy to see cannibalism back, that theme back with the family, but it was just so on the nose. It was spoon feeding it to you. There was no cannibalism. You know what, guys? I'm okay with cannibalism not being part of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films, but do something else instead. Give me another reason for these guys to be scary. That's all I can say. Yeah, just over the top for me. It's not a terrible film, but I think they could have done better. And I bet if a different director, I do believe if a different director had that movie, it could have turned it into something good. I actually think they probably should have hired the same director that did the remake. I don't think it was the same director. They should have. I bet the director of the remake could have turned the beginning script into something decent. I bet he could have. Because, I mean, I heard stuff about the original script of the remake, and it's honestly, it makes it even way worse, at least for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. I've heard what the original script was like, and the director toned a lot of stuff down. So, which is very, you wouldn't think that from a first-time feature film director, because he was a music video director, Marcus Nispel, music video director. So, anyways. Yeah, I don't know. It's I was hoping for better. I remember getting out of the theater though feeling like unsure of what I watched. I'm like, there's good things in it, but it doesn't feel like it was very good. You know, there's good things in it, but I think it was execution. For me, it was execution. It wasn't executed properly. And it could have been great. I think it could have been great. But what do you guys think? What are you guys saying in the chat anyways? Let's go. Monty, yes, for the Uncle Monty got his legs cut off. True, it's over the yeah, just a little bit over the top. The dinner scene was pretty creepy, but again, it was just it wasn't the original dinner scene, that's for sure. And again, just a little over the top, you know. It just, I don't know. The tea lady passed away recently. I heard that. I did hear that. Yes. I think most of those people have passed away now, which was kind of the best element of those movies. The family, not the Sawyer family, the Hewitt family in those movies. I think the family is kind of better than Leatherface, but Arlie Ermey's gone now. I think the old I can't remember the mom's name, but I think she's since passed on. Now the tea lady's gone. I'm not sure if Uncle Monty is still alive or not. Have to check that. He was pretty old though in those movies, so there you go. Who knows? So there you go. So she just passed away. She was the neighbor. Yeah. I know who she is. I know who she is. But who was the big lady in TCM in the beginning? Yeah, the tea lady. We were just talking about her. The big lady, the big fat. She was really fat. It's amazing she lasted as long as she did. I think they're a family member or yeah. I don't know if they're a family member or neighbor. Might just be a neighbor, but she's obviously in on it. Obviously in it. They call her the tea lady, yeah. Giant's Pride. Hello, just watched your teaser trailer for the first time. Oh, thank you for checking it out. She passed away last week. Yeah. Monty actor did die too. I figure they probably all passed on, unfortunately. You know, what can you do? They're all kind of older, right? Right? So... But they were probably the best. They were better to me than the Leatherface actor, in my opinion. Just my opinion. I'm not bashing Andrew Bernarski, but I didn't think his portrayal was that good. He's definitely not my favorite Leatherface. I'm not bashing the guy. I don't feel like he was that good. Terrence Evans passed away. And is that the Monty actor? Probably. I'm not. I'll wait for a response from Jared, and it'll take him a little bit. Probably. Who knows? There we go. Anyways, moving on there, guys. So that's where I ranked that. That's kind of in the middle. After that, these are really tough to rank at this point. These ones are all kind of the same. Just so you guys know. So I might rewatch some of these and it's in a different order. Well, I put Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 here. Again, not a huge fan. I know a lot of this movie does have their fan base. That was their Breakfast Club mock cover, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. It's great that Drayton is back in it. Was not a fan of I was not a fan of Leatherface portrayal very much. A lot of it, the Leatherface look it's probably more so look rather than portrayal, but I mean the portrayal, I don't want to knock the portrayal too much because I think a lot of it was what they were going for. They were really going for this campy version of Leatherface. Let's really funny kind of version of Leatherface. I don't know. And I just don't feel like it works personally. But it works for a lot of people. It just doesn't work for me. They're trying to go the comedy route too much for me. And the fact is I just don't find it funny. If I found the movie funny, maybe I'd feel differently about it. I have nothing against a good horror comedy, but I don't know. I don't feel horror comedies are right for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I think that might be my biggest beef with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, is that I just don't think it's right for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, personally. Even though I've seen in interviews Tobe Hooper said they were originally going for something kind of comedic with the original. That's, I don't know. It wasn't for me. Make it funny. If you're going to make a horror comedy, just make it funnier. A lot of people love Chop Top. I'm not the biggest fan. He's just too cartoony for me. I don't, and again, not knocking Bill Moseley's performance. It's iconic now. Everybody looks at it as iconic. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. Just doesn't do it for me. This is more or less when I get down to my opinions. It's and I caught this at number 3. I think, who knows? I mean, all of these are kind of interchangeable for the most part. I got to rewatch a lot of them. I probably should have rewatched a lot of these before even making this ranking. Should have, but I don't have a lot of time on my hands these days. So, I mean, just off the top of my head, I mean, hey, this one could be behind the beginning, or it could be ahead of the next film I've got on the list, and I don't know. At the end of the day, I wanted to like this movie more than I did. It has some good things. So the opening kill on the bridge, that was kind of cool. Dennis Hopper, even though he's kind of over the top as well, he's still kind of good in this. You still like him. The Stretch character is pretty good. I don't know. I know this movie has a huge fan base, and I wish I had more positive stuff that I could say about it. It's high on my list. It's pretty high on my list. This is number 3, I think, or number 4, 3 or 4. I don't know where we are. I think it's 4. Yeah, we'll say 4. Chopped Up was funny, but he got on my nerves. Yeah. I didn't even find him funny. Kind of like Jar Jar Binks in the Star Wars. Maybe small doses I would have been okay with him. But I don't know. It just the character was just too cartoony for me. Yeah, it didn't work for me. I don't know. There's just not a lot I can really say about this movie. Chopped Up was so fictional. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the difference between Chopped Up and The Hitchhiker. Is Chopped Up does feel like a fictional character, whereas The Hitchhiker feels authentic. You believe that guy's out there. You believe everybody from the original movie is out there. Those characters are real. They were. The performances were drawn on from real people, like Ed Neal based The Hitchhiker off of his nephew. I think it was his nephew, who was a paranoid, delusional schizophrenic, something like that. If I remember correctly from the Family Portrait documentary. If you haven't seen that documentary, it's great. Go check it out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Family Portrait. Go check that out. It is on YouTube, actually. You can watch that on YouTube. So, not a fan of Bill Moseley. I don't know. I don't mind Bill Moseley as an actor. He's not one of my favorites. That's for sure. I don't go out of my, Bill Moseley's in this movie, I gotta watch it. I'm not that kind of a guy. Some people are. And I've heard he's a really cool guy in person. A lot of my fans have been kind of reaching out to me saying, oh yeah, you should get Bill Moseley in your movie. He's a really cool guy, and I'm sure he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. But overall, can I say I'm a fan? No, he's an okay actor. He's done some stuff very well, and other stuff I'm like, you know, yeah. uh, let's see what else you guys are saying. Andrew Bernarski is a prick for making fun of Gunnar Hansen. Yeah, I heard all about that. I remember when Gunnar passed away and he posted on his Facebook, and I don't know. That was in bad taste. You know, whether you have a beef with the guy or not, if you have obviously he had some sort of beef with Gunnar Hansen, and that's fine. But to disrespect the man after he died was, hey, I don't know. I think that was in poor taste. That was in poor taste to me. And it probably gave Andrew Bernarski a pretty bad name in the horror community now. Just saying. I don't know the guy personally. I'm not gonna say whether I think he's a prick or not. But what he did was a very prick thing to do. Just saying. I know he had his reasonings. Okay. I mean, I'm staying out of the drama. There's been so much drama in the horror community lately. I don't want to get into it. I really don't want to get into it. I don't know if any of you guys know some of the stuff that's happened in the indie horror community lately. But I'm not going to get into it. You guys can find out for yourselves unless you already know. Chop Top was so fictional. Yeah, we read that. Not a fan of Bill Moseley. Yeah. Bill was very nice. Met him at Days of the Dead of Atlanta. Yeah, I'm sure he's a great guy. Told him about Sawyer Massacre. He said he'd never heard of it. Yeah, he probably hasn't. Why would he have heard of it? I don't know. Gunnar might have pissed him off. Yeah, apparently I don't know. Hey, you know, Gunnar may not have been 100% innocent either. It was, I don't know. I think hey, that's not what we're here to talk about, guys. But grow up is all I can say. To something like that. Take some criticism, take a joke, whatever, Learn to take it. We can't make jokes anymore. It's just, I don't know. We're in a very stuck-up world, it seems, these days. To me. Well, what a snarky answer he said about the Sawyer guy moving like he's that big. Oh, I missed that. Not sure I quite understand that, Brock Lesnar. Let me know. Still though, the man died. Yeah, it was in bad taste. Whether, okay, Gunnar Hansen may have crossed a little bit of a line in good fun. It was in good fun, but man, it's really in bad taste to spit on a man's grave, basically, is what he basically did. Anyways, April was known as the shit show month. Yeah, all of the immature drama. Good. I hope it's gone now. So obviously John knows what's good. John from Behind the Fiends podcast, Fiendishly Fantasy Productions, as he has on here. He knows what's going on. And there's our other buddy John from Doomsday's Crypt. I'm sure he probably knows about all the drama that happened last month. And I really hope it's all gone now. I hope it is. And it's so hard for me to stay out of it, but I know I have to. There's a part of me that wants to get involved, but I can't. Because I'm going to be a bad guy if I get involved, but in somebody's eyes. And I just don't want drama. I really don't. Maybe if it was a day, maybe if it was an off day, but he wasn't too busy. What was that? No one was at Bill's table but me. Oh, I see. So, okay. I wish I had the chance to meet Gunnar Hansen. Yeah, I've heard that Gunnar Hansen was actually a really great person. Sure, maybe he did a little jokish thing there that, I don't know, that pissed Andrew Bernarski off. I don't know. Stay out of the drama. Yeah. You gotta. Your film, future, and family are more important, my friend. Yes, of course. And I noticed you stay out of the drama pretty good, John, too. Because I know you could have easily been caught up in a lot of it. You could have very, very easily been caught up in a lot of it, as we know. But stay out of it. And anybody that's reached out to me about this drama, I said, just stay out of it. If it doesn't involve you, just stay out of it. You're just going to cause more problems. And it's not good. What's going on is not good. What's happened is not good for the horror community. That's all I'll say. It's not good. It's we need to come together, people. Let's come together. I'm staying. And I think Christian knows about it too. 100% agree. Says John. Anyways, back to my list. Back to my list. Yeah, nothing really much more to say about that. Let's talk about Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. This is one I've been told I should rewatch again. It's been about, probably 10 years since I've seen this one. Probably 10 years. And it's so forgettable to me. I think that's the biggest crime with this movie, is that it feels like not much really happens in this film. Even though I know stuff does kind of happen. Yeah. There are some good points. I mean, when you get that family dynamic, it's kind of interesting. There are some interesting things done in this movie, but I don't know. The Saw's family, that's where that on the Saw there, it was a little bit over the top, but it's all good. It's all good. I'm not a huge fan of the way Leatherface looks. I'm not a huge fan of the way Leatherface looks in a lot of these movies. He kind of becomes more of a monster than a human being, like he was in the original. So I do respect that they are making the character look more human now. I will say that. Leatherface in the new film looked like a real person. I think that's another good quality I can give that film. And I think that's one thing about Leatherface we need to draw on a little bit more. He is a real person. You believe this guy could exist out there. He is a crazed maniac out there, and I think that's what made him so scary in the original, is you really believe this guy is out there somewhere. And the fact is, he probably is out there somewhere. There is a Leatherface out there somewhere. It's inspired by real people. We don't know where he is, but there's some sort of redneck out there that'll kill you like that. That does everything like Leatherface. It feels like it really does exist. Leatherface is a real character, whether real person, whether he's portrayed as a character or not. It's like this person really exists. And I think a lot of these other portrayals just, I don't know, they don't feel very real. I don't know. Not much I can say about it. Again, Texas Chainsaw 3 is kind of forgettable. Again, I don't know why I have it this high up on the list. It's easily interchangeable with all of these. The last 3 or 4 movies are definitely interchangeable. I mean, I don't really have great things to say about. There are some great things. I wish I could say better about Leatherface. They went back more to a serious tone, and maybe that's why I put this a little further up on the list rather than Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It has a little more serious tone to it. Although, they got that one scene, and Leatherface is very goofy. I can't even remember exactly what it was. It was like identifying everything as meat or as food or something like that. I get it. I don't think we need to focus on that element of Leatherface. Personally. But, there's a lot of this movie that I can't remember what's going on. I can't remember what happened in this part of the movie. It's kind of forgettable. I don't know. For the most part, it's kind of forgettable for me. I want to like it more. I feel like there's potential. It's another one that feels more like it's a reboot or a reimagining, whatever, remake, reimagining, whatever. Because it doesn't really connect to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, does it? It feels stupid to call it Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 because it doesn't connect to Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And the family members kind of feel like rebooted versions of past characters. Kind of like, we've got Chop Top and the Hitchhiker in the same movie. It almost feels like you got both of those characters with Alfredo and... I'm forgetting their names. And those guys did well. Those characters did well, and you got Viggo Mortensen, that's more or less the Drayton character, and you've got Grandma as kind of Grandpa, but I don't know, but still, I don't know. I wish it was better. That's all I can say. Film the Cal. Yeah, I know they. Why? I know. I get it, but I don't get it. I get it, but I don't get it. But it's Hollywood for you. That's Hollywood for you guys. Hollywood doesn't want to film movies in Texas. That's why we got a lot of good indie films being made in Texas instead. Those are the better ones anyways, right? Let's see here. Leatherface 3 was okay, but lacked atmosphere of the... Yeah. I think the cheaply made mask of the original will always work because in a real world setting, he wouldn't have this highly detailed mask. It would be this mangled mess of dried out skin. Yeah, I can agree with that. It was fairly cheaply made. Yeah, it was definitely it was probably more cheaply made than the masks we made. Probably. Our masks were expensive, but definitely cheap. I mean, if you think ours were expensive, the ones that they make for these Hollywood ones, they spend like $20,000 on the masks, and it feels like, well, did you really need to? Did you actually need to? Why did you do all this? Because we had to get this in there. We had to get all this extra stitching and I don't know. All this extra detail. I don't know. I don't think you need all that. And I think in a lot of cases it takes away from it. So I definitely hear John's point on that. Careful man, he'll end up showing up at your premiere. Just saying, who we talking about? Who'll end up showing up at my premiere? Drama people or Andrew Bernarski? Who knows? I don't know. Brock Lesnar. How do you have TCM 3 better than TCM? I don't know. Again, these are all interchangeable for me. You know, I do need to do a rewatch, but again, yeah. Oh yeah, the computer. Yeah, the computer toy. That's what it was. It was like a toy that he was playing with. I don't know. Kept typing food. That's right. Everything he saw was food. And that just made it goofy. I mean, you're trying to go for a serious tone, but then you do something like that. And it's like, come on. This is not Leatherface. I don't know. It's like they can't distinguish TCM from Heels from... Yeah. I like the gold. I mean, it looks cool, but it doesn't feel real. To me. The revealing of it. I remember Ken Forey somewhat survived. Yeah. And there was like two versions, I think, though. One where he died and one, I don't know. One where he died and one where he lived. Without a scratch. TCM 2 was way too silly for me. Yeah. For me, it was too. It's just too silly, and would have liked it more if I actually found the comedy funny. It wasn't funny to me. It wasn't funny to me. Okay, moving along. It's getting late. It's already 7:30. So, geez, gotta get through this stuff. Okay, next up we have the remake. A remake from 2003. Oh wait, that's not the remake, is it? Oh, That's the Sawyer Massacre. They look pretty similar. I got mixed up. Sorry, guys. That was my remake mock poster. Of course, I'm just joking around here, guys. Just joshing you, guys. Just joshing you. Of course, I knew that I did that on purpose. But yeah, the remake. Again, I have issues with the remake still because, and I'm hard on this movie. I've talked in detail about this movie, but this one, it got the tone more or less right. You know, he gave a lot of great things. It's just certain things drag it down. Certain things drag it down. I don't want to get into too much detail. And Leatherface to me was not well done in this film as a whole. Not just the actor portraying it, but the costume in general. Again, it's like they're trying to turn him into this Frankenstein's monster type of character, turn him into a monster. And I want to see that real, authentic Leatherface, where I believe this guy exists, but I didn't believe that guy existed, and that's where I get taken out of it, personally. Again, a lot of people love Andrew Bryniarski's Leatherface. Yeah, I don't. And again, the time period, they remade it to be in the same exact same date as the original, August 17th, 1973. Get mixed up. I think it's 17th. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. August 17th, 1973. So they went with the exact same date and everything. But man, it's so hard for me to believe that that's really when that took place. It really is. And maybe it'll be a hard time to see our film taking place in 1965. With some of the stuff that, I mean, we had a $28,000 budget to capture our time period. There might be a couple things that stand out as, oh, that doesn't look like authentic 1965. Well, that's bound to happen when you got the kind of budget we have. Time period pieces are tough. But honestly, it doesn't look like they really tried very hard in that film. It didn't look like the costumes of the characters, especially the young characters, the way the young characters talked, the lingo was not of that time period. Let's tell it like it is. They were not talking like people in 1973. They were talking like people in 2003. Which was when the film was shot. And I think they just didn't try I think they didn't try too hard because I think they actually want to make it relatable to today's audience, which I get. But for me, I want to believe that it's taking place in 1973. So, yeah, personally, that's my biggest issue with it. I have a hard time believing it's 1973. R. Lee Ermey was scarier than Leatherface. I want Leatherface to be the scariest character, though. He should be the scariest character to me. Sure, a lot of people will argue that the Hitchhiker was scarier than Leatherface in the original, and that's a fair argument. The Hitchhiker is pretty scary. I personally feel like Leatherface is a little bit scarier myself, just because he's big and he's wearing human faces. I don't know. To me, that just he chases you with a chainsaw. I don't know. But it's a point, and it's an opinion, and I can respect that opinion. Whereas this, I almost feel like maybe it is an opinion, guys. I personally feel like R. Lee Ermey is the real villain of that movie, rather than Leatherface, and just I don't know, way more scary to me. But hey, at least they shot it in Texas, right? They didn't shoot everything in Texas, from what I recall, though. But the house was in Granger, Texas. We passed that house every time we drove to Bartlett. We drove to Bartlett a lot. We passed by the old hey, there's the remake house. Yeah, there it is. There you go. And we saw it every time. Oh, I'm sure Aaron was there for one of the days we shot in Bartlett. Aaron Johnson, because he got an extra role in the movie. Yeah, you were the only background extra that actually showed up. Yeah, so many people got that perk and emailed everybody. They all got my emails. So, but Aaron was the only one that actually showed up. Funny enough. But yeah, you got to see that remake house too. So I mean, I do give it credit. And man, the opening of that film with John Larroquette's narration, the police evidence stuff, all that footage you saw, the black and white footage, it looked great. It looked great. It does look awesome. So I mean, I gotta give it. I wish the rest of the movie would have lived up to that beginning, you know. And it didn't. It didn't. Like I said, I'm okay with them not having elements of cannibalism in the movie because there was no traces of the cannibalism theme. What are you going to do instead? What are you going to replace the cannibalism with? And I just didn't think it was strong enough. Oh, we're rebelling against society because we were outcast. It was that kind of a thing. And this isn't, it's not, I don't care. Oh, you were banned against society. Whatever. So what? That's what I felt like. And I don't know. I just wish they would have done something else instead. But what? I know that's the tough thing. If you're going to not have cannibalism be a part of your theme, what do you replace it with? There are things. You just got to be creative. Ultimately, you got to be creative. But, I do give props to the director for taking it was a very long script. Apparently, it was like 200 pages. And it was just had so much stuff in it that just, apparently, again, I never read the script, but I heard stuff of what was happening in this script, and it was just way too much. Way too much. So, yeah, I don't know. That's just, I'll give props to the director for the most part doing a good job directing the movie. Just wish certain things were better, but I can't blame him because he didn't write the script. I kind of wish that he would have written the script, but he took certain things and said, "Okay, we'll do this instead. It's simpler," and I like that. Good directors have to know when to do that. How do we simplify this? So yeah. Boy, we had to do a lot of that in the Sawyer Massacre. Text to talk doesn't work. I take it there was some text to talk. I meant to say Andrew with Brett. Oh, geez, I got to go back in the chat a little bit. I think. Have a good night. Oh, hey, Aaron. Yeah, have a good night. Oh, just read they replaced Brett with Andrew after he had heat stroke. Yes. I meant to say Andrew with Brett. No, it was they were sorry. Replaced Brett with they replaced Brett with Andrew. Brett Wagner was the original Leatherface, and Andrew took over because Brett had got heat stroke. It was like hospitalized kind of heat stroke. He couldn't continue. Next Generation is a fun one. Alcohol and shrooms required. Can't argue with that. Okay, so finally, guys, we're running pretty long now. Well, not like really long, but long enough. Obviously, number one is, of course, the original. No surprise, obviously, guys. I mean, it's the original. It's the original. It's my favorite horror film of all time for good reason. I wish I could say there was more in the other films that I liked. I really do. I want to like the other films more than I do. It's, but I've covered so much about this film, why I love it, why I'm doing the Sawyer Massacre. It's a masterpiece. It really is. It really is. If there's anything I can knock on it, okay, maybe Franklin gets to be a little much sometimes. Sometimes, the big raspberries he was blowing in the, okay, that got a little much. Sure. What else can I really knock on it? I don't know. I don't, there's not much to knock on the. It's maybe a little slow paced. Maybe you think the characters are a little dry. I just feel like they're real people, personally. But I can see you think, oh, okay, these characters are kind of dry. Sure. Okay, fine. I find them to be normal, likable people. They're just normal, likable people. I don't know. They didn't need to be that overly deep. They just need to be likable. And I liked them all. Even Franklin. I liked Franklin. Even though he got a little over the top sometimes, you know? So, yeah, not much to say there, guys. I liked it. I think it's a great film. Overall, it's terrifying. It feels real. Everything that happens in this movie just feels like it's true. Like you're not watching a movie, you're watching reality unfold right in front of your eyes. It was lightning in a bottle. And I've been, criticized for doing the Sawyer Massacre and saying, why are you trying to recapture that lightning in the bottle? Like, okay. I get it. I'm not trying to recreate the original. You can't. You can't. Watch me in interviews, and you'll see what I'm talking about. I've been in quite a few podcast interviews. I've talked in fair depth on this show as well. No, I mean, of course you can't. You can't recapture that. It's impossible. I just had my own lightning, and I believe we did capture lightning in a bottle with our film. Because once again, like the original, you can compare this to the original. The original had a fantastic cast and crew. We had the same. Our cast and crew was maybe not quite as big. Cast was definitely bigger, but the crew had some gaps. But ultimately, everybody that worked on our film was amazing. And we were able to capture our own lightning. It's not the same lightning that was caught with the original film. It's a different film. We didn't try to remake that film. And that's what drives me nuts. Is I think people think that I'm remaking the original. I'm not. I'm not remaking the original. Our movie is very different. And it's easy to jump to that because you see some other fan films and they're kind of like that. They're remaking the original. It's essentially a remake. Sally's Escape from Hell is essentially a remake of the ending of the original. It's done differently, but it's still the same. It's still, so I mean, and again, I hate to knock on these fan films because I want them to do well. I do. And, Sally's Escape from Hell got a ton of views on YouTube. But, I mean, it's just saying, it essentially just says that we don't have any creativity. We're just going to do our version of the ending. Why, though? Why? Why would you do that? I don't know why. I don't know. I'll leave it at that. And then I get typed into doing the same thing. I'm not doing the same thing. So you can't recreate the original masterpiece. You can't do something on your own. And I think that's what we did. There's just so much good stuff to say about the original. It's just, It's a film I can't really knock. It's not my number one favorite film of all time. It's not my number one horror, though. Number one horror film of all time. I like all kinds of movies. I'm not just a horror guy. Gotta like everything. I mean, that's up there. The original TCM. It's up there, guys. It's a masterpiece. It really is. So, anyways, guys. What did you guys think of my ranking? Feel free to share your rankings in the comments if you want. I'm always interested. Again, these are pretty interchangeable. They really are. A lot of them are. My bottom is always going to be Texas Chainsaw 3D. And I mean, it would be pretty tough to make a worse film than that, in my opinion. But again, a lot of people still rank other ones lower. I've seen people rank Leatherface 2017 lower. I've seen a lot of people still rank The Next Generation lower. I'm like, really? I mean, I'm not praising Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation, but man, Texas Chainsaw 3D, what a crapshoot. What a crapshoot. Anyways, guys, I think that's probably going to do it for me tonight, unless anybody has anything. Let me just see what you guys are saying here. It's John said, I'd love to do a short film on the hitchhiker digging up graves and just a general look inside his twisted mind. He had a pretty twisted mind, that guy. He definitely did. And I would like to do like I don't know if I really would want to do it, but I'd like to see somebody do it. And somebody was going to do it a while back. Is a prequel on Grandpa, where it's really focused on him. They made a trailer. It was a really good looking trailer. Didn't really have a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes to it, but it's really nice looking. It was very slick, well shot, well acted, and for the most part. But there are some issues I have with it too, though. I think you could do something really cool on Grandpa, but you'd have to go back. I think. I wouldn't do it, though. I don't know. I'd like to see somebody do it. There's a part of me that wants to do it, but I know I wouldn't. I wouldn't do it. I think I respect the original TCM more as an adult. I don't think I appreciate it when I saw it as a kid. I can understand that. I mean, I didn't really appreciate it the first time I watched it either. I mean, I found it terrifying, though. At the same time, I found it terrifying. But I didn't get a lot of it. There's a lot of stuff in it I didn't understand when I was younger. And I had to, grow up a bit to really kind of understand some of the things going on in that film. And it's what made me want more films and want to like the other sequels and want to like the remake. I'll say it, when the remake was coming out, I was first in line, and I had this naive mentality that this was going to be better than the original. And boy, I mean, of course I was wrong, but I truly thought it was going to be. They had a chance to. I think they had a chance to. I don't know. I know it's hard to top the original, but, yeah, I don't know. They had a chance to. Oops, sorry. Bumped the mic there. Anyways, it made me believe Texas was full of cannibals as a kid. Yeah, it is. I've been there. No, it's not. Who knows what was in that barbecue I ate? I ate a lot of barbecue when I was down there. Who knows? But no, it was good barbecue for the most part. Ate barbecue at the gas station. Oh, yeah. There you go, guys. I think that's going to do it for me. Again, you guys can feel free to share your rankings in the comments, even after I've logged off here. It'd be cool to know how you guys would rank them. Does anybody not have the original at the top? Definitely put that. If the original's not at the top, hey, and I'm not going to judge. I would never judge. I know there's still a lot of people that love the remake the most. And hey, good on you. I wish I could. And maybe that's why I'm so hard on it, because I actually thought I was going to love it the most when I came to see it. Sawyer chili minus finger. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys all for tuning in. We'll see you guys on Saturday when we talk about Banshee Chapter on Merlo's Macabre Matinee, Episode 1. Yes. And put your thinking caps on for what else you want me to see for the following week. Because again, I'm going to do one new movie per week, watch one new film per week, at least maybe two if I get around to it. These days, probably just one. Probably. But yeah. Something to think about. Have a good night there, guys. We'll see you guys on Saturday, okay? Take her easy. Sawyer later, says our good buddy Jared, the Drayton Sawyer. Take her easy, guys. Have a good night.